married. A sheep will not marry a lion. No, so there are some things that, yes, we can say that we didn't see, but you would likely choose from where you are. And these are bitter truths, right? If you chose that man, there is something in you that attracted that man. You guys are seemingly on the same level. So if you don't deal with the thoughts, the emotions, the things that put you in the situation where you attracted that kind of man and you agreed to live with that kind of man, if you leave that man, you will have double pressure because the emotions of divorce will come trickling down. You feel lonely. Sometimes you just want to, plus those preliminary things that was there that helped you attract this person. So when you put those two things together, it's likely a recipe for disaster. I have people close to me that have been divorced. Some of them 7 years, some of them 10 years from now. And when you're having conversations with them, guess what? They are still talking about that relationship, that marriage. Still saying, this is what my spouse is not doing. Because they never gotten over it. I'm not saying that. Remember, it's a flip side. The first myth we talked about was that marriage is a sin, or God hates divorce is a sin, or God hates divorce. But on the flip side too, your first response to problems in marriage shouldn't be divorce. The first thing you are thinking of if a situation happens in your relationship shouldn't be to check out. What you need is problem-solving skills to identify what the problem is, solve that problem, communicate that problem, and start to solve them. Because if you're looking at it like, I will just take care of myself, you're going to extend your time. If it will take you 10 years to form your bond, if you go 1 year backward, 3 years forward, it will take you 20 years. And that's why some people, after they will say they want to divorce, because they were actually not doing the bonding work. Marriage is a lot of effort. Two people from different marriage, from different homes, different thought pattern, different lifestyle, different age. Even my children, I have a set of twins. They were born on the same day. They have completely different lifestyle, different thoughts, different everything. People that were born of the same womb, that stayed in the same womb for 9 months, they don't have the same thought pattern. They don't behave in the same way. Much more someone that was raised, and you know the way it is. It's just like when you buy your phone and you tear the rubber, everything is plain. Then you start putting all the software, Google Meet, TikTok, Instagram, and that's where children are. So in their family, they've tiered that child, put all of their own software. In your family, they've turned you up, put all of your software. Now you want to bring iPhone and Samsung, you want to merge them into one particular device. How easy would that be? Thankfully, Apple has reduced their bars. Before, there were some apps that you can't use on Apple and use on Android. But as much as you're doing, if you want to do your transfer, there will still be a lot of itches and glitches. So we should let go of that mindset, that thought pattern that if this marriage is not working, I'll just carry my bag and I go. If you carry your bag and go, where are you going? The baggage is that's on you that brought you to that man. While you want to still carry, do you understand? So I'm not saying that you should swallow in everything that you get. But before you go, be sure that you have sorted out what you need to sort out by yourself before you now say, I'm checking out. Remember, I said some people, they actually need to be flogged to go out. But you also need to be careful because that exit process, if it's not handled properly, it might really, really affect something. So the next myth I want to talk about is marriage makes me complete. You see this one, they will say, my better half. And there's this thought that we've heard that once you're married, two people come together and you become one and everything is fine. And we see it a lot in our society. Once you're through with school, the next thing is, where's your husband? All the aunties in the house, You can't breathe again. Everybody's asking you, where's your husband? Where's your, you do not, marriage never makes anyone complete. If you are not complete before you get married, if you get married, you will be less complete than you were. Because marriage is more of giving than receiving. I know some of these things sounds very hard on us. It sounds very, maybe we're here, hoping that you get here and I'll say things that are, lovey-dovey for us. But the truth has to be just said the way it is, right? We need to know these things. Because if you don't know them, you yourself, you will not get liberated. Marriage never makes anybody complete. If you were not complete before you got married, you are likely to be less complete after marriage. There's nothing like my better half. Yes, it should be an icing on the cake. But if the icing is not there, can you eat the cake? Yes. And that's why as women, we have to find life for ourselves. And it's not just job. Know what you want for yourself. I was speaking to some set of women earlier today, and they're actually waiting to get children. And I said, that business you're doing, that career you're doing, you are seeking for child, you are crying for child. If you have that child now, if your husband does not do anything, can you pay the school fees of your child? Can you buy diaper for that child? So before you say, I have a job, I have a business, can that job, can that business cater for you? And in Africa, we have this mindset like, once you marry, all your trouble is gone, or once you're in a relationship. So the guy buys you everything you need, you don't even think of your own self. Or, I was saying yesterday, I wanted to buy flowers for myself. If me, I couldn't buy flowers for myself, why should I fault anybody that did not buy flower for me? So you need to, first of all, be whole before you can say, I want to get married. If you're now married and you still feel like there's an emptiness in me, you need to find that fulfillment in yourself, by yourself. You need to be able to live without your spouse while you are missing your spouse when he's not there. I'll go over that again. You need to be able to live without your spouse while you are missing your spouse. So there is independence and there's interdependence, right? You are independent. If he's not there, you are good. But you also relegate some duties to him to make him feel relevant. But the truth is, as a woman, if you want to enjoy bliss, it starts with you taking a lot of responsibility off your spouse's head or anybody's head, even if it's a friend. Bestie me koriko soon. I can't see you. When I don't eat. Please eat. Because sometimes, newsflash, we are talking about anything can happen. What if the guy dies? Now, I'm still going to go back to some celebrity situations going around. Now, and Two-Face said, Annie, I'm no longer interested. I heard that she's in rehab dealing with mental health issue. Because left to her, it is that marriage that makes her complete. She has given her life solely to that man. She has lived all her life for that man. And now the man said, I'm marrying someone else. She wants to die. Marriage never makes you complete. So you have to ask yourself, how do I make myself whole? What are the things I need to do for myself to make myself whole? You need to be comfortable with yourself alone. Again, I ask, God forbid, what if that man dies today? I don't pray our spouses die. I don't pray there's any bad thing. But you need to find your complete self. Financially, very important. Very, very important. As women, if you're on this call and you cannot fend for yourself, see, I don't know if some of us know me before. If you don't know me, you might look at it that, oh, what gives her the right to say these things? Because everything I am saying are things I went through by myself. So how did this whole community, how did it come about? One day earlier part of my marriage, I was experiencing a lot of troubles. Then one day I slept and I had a dream, and God showed me this back cover of a book, and He said, "I write to prosperity." And when I woke up, He gave me all those things I'm talking about, the outline of the book. And I said, God, this book He said I should write. Even me, I'm not experiencing what is in this book. So it's so hypocritical of me to come out and start teaching people this thing. Because where I am right now, I'm not having it. So I said, okay, if you want me to write this book and let me experience these things. And maybe 4 or 5 years. So I told my husband when I woke up about that book. Maybe 4 or 5 years after, one day I woke up and said, "You remember that book that God said you should write? I think you can write that book down." So it's now a testimonial of that book, right? Which are the things I'm telling you now. So I'm saying these things from the place of what I have had to go through. As a woman, if you do not have a substantial source of income, you would expect your husband to do the minute of things, and it would affect you. So that one, we need to work on it, right? Another myth I want us to talk about is, what will people say? We live our lives with everybody's thoughts in our head. You don't do things. I'm a married woman. If I do this, they'll say, is that how married men should do? Let's take out that school of thoughts. It doesn't work. It is you and your head and your God. So whatever you choose to do with your marriage, however you choose to appear, please appear that way. There's another thing I hear is, my money is my money. His money is our money. Who says? Yes, is the man, is the beneficiary, he's supposed to do. But truly, if we look at it, it says two shall become one. Why? How would you feel if he says your money is our money, you fend for us, when I have my money, I go out there? A person born them too now. So we shouldn't have all these thoughts. Even when I've had people that as justify that when they say breadwinner, you should be the one to fend. Do we have homes that? And in all honesty, if you really, really want to hear it, I can beat my chest. If you bring 50 married women out there today that are able to wither their marriage, they will tell you that there has been financial seasons in their home. And in 10 years, I can tell you, there's never been it's very rare for you to see that it is just one person that will be the sole financier. And finance is very important in marriage because it causes a lot of troubles. But there will be just one sole financier for that marriage from beginning of their life to the end. What happens is that maybe the other party never has any source of finance. So even when the husband is low on cash, everybody in the house is low, except for that. But the way life is, there's sunshine, there's rain, there are financial ups, there are financial downs. You see people like Ubuntu, she will tell the seasons where she was the one moving most of the things in the house. And after a while, your husband got an all block, and whatever she was earning became a penny for her husband's money. So in life, as people are evolving, there will always be situations whereby one person will have more than the other person. And what I tell myself is, it is our home, except for some men that are irresponsible, right? Whereby they have their money and they are going around with women, or they're just irresponsible. For those cases, I understand. It's an exception. But if your spouse is not irresponsible, we need to let go of that mindset that my money is my money, his money is our money. Everybody's money should come to the table. How you want to go about it? Again, so on that formula, and one other thing I want to share here is that what I believe in is principles. The application is on you. Okay, I think it's another myth that I feel we would talk about, right? I think I should just jump into that now. I want the kind of Mr. and Mrs. X marriage. One of the things that really affected me while I was growing in marriage was because I had mental models of marriage. So I see this people, I say, should you see how XYZ and XYZ are doing in their house? And they come out and they come and tell us those things. And you expect that when you get home, it's the same. So for instance, one of our married mentors then will come and say, in our house, once it's 10 o'clock, everybody puts their phone down and we just have a one-on-one conversation and we talk. So I came back home and I tried practicing it. I said, "Oga, oh yeah, close your laptop, close your phone." You know my husband, you know that his laptop is his first child, first wife, first everything. He sleeps and wakes with his laptop. He won't drop the laptop. He said, whatever you want to say, let's talk. So I'll be feeling bad and saying, that's not how they should do marriage. That's not this. Because you want this kind of people's marriage. What is the principle in that marriage? Communication. The way they do their own communication is by dropping their phones. Can you still do the communication with his laptop if he's listening to you? Yes. And what I'm trying to say is, let's not fixate our minds on the mental picture of a kind of marriage. They will now try to do copy and paste that, it is what these people, even some of the things I'm saying today, I would expect that you go back home and go and apply it as it works for you and your spouse. Right? So don't have this fixed mindset as to say, this is how they do it in their home. This is how I want to do. No. Because sometimes the people that are coming to tell you is what they want you to see or hear that you hear. You don't know what they're actually feeling in the back of their house. So you don't fixate yourself and say, and it comes to the place of finance too and any other thing. You need to know what works for you in your own home. Don't sit on that thing like, the way Pastor and Pastor Mrs. or, social media can be funny. Some time ago, when people came up with the idea that Bangi W was having extramarital affair and him and Adeswa, they were going to. Someone now came and said, if these two people should divorce, I'll never believe in marriage again. Someone said, stupid boy, your parents have been married for over 40 years. You never still believe in marriage. Now Adeswa and this thing you want to use. But as funny as it sounds, that is it. Some of us have been following Priscilla, Juma Jex and Prissy for the last one we can say, am I a stone? Am I a... Please, I am begging us. Let's come back to our reality. The truth is, some of those things, it works for them. They are celebrities. I saw yesterday now that Jumex was I don't know, is it Juma Jukes? I don't know his name now. That was nominated for Eddie's Award, and it works for them. Or for you is the Teres. Anyone is good. You want to look at it for entertainment, but don't let them be your standard. Don't put them in your front and say, because this person is doing this for this person, this is what. No. You married your own man. I remember what we started with. Manage your expectations. When your expectations are not set on the right standards, you will feel disappointed a lot of times, and it would affect your happiness. And the thing is, the person you're even dealing with might not even know, because he or she does, there's no she now because we are the she here. He does not even have an idea of the kind of belief systems that you are having, except you communicate to him, right? And part of the myth is that you should know. I think that's also a myth we need to discuss. We have this mindset that a man should know what to do. A man he loves me, he should know how to make me happy. Newsflash, he might not know. Some might be negligence. Some might be genuine ignorance. They don't know. So don't expect them. If you want it, say it. If you not say it and they don't give it to you, that's not going to be another conversation. So let's get off this mindset that, you should know that I love this. You should know that it's not Holy Spirit. Sometimes they don't know. Now, another thing is, it's only the woman that makes the home. We heard this a lot, like, now we get him home. Yes, we have a high stake, but it takes two of you to make that home. If that marriage works today, it is both you and your husband. If it's not working, it's the two of you. So don't take all the blame and responsibility for yourself. If things are not going the way they should, don't fixate yourself and say, it is only my husband, it is only me. Don't blame yourself too much. You both have the responsibility to make it work, right? Another myth I want us to talk about is marriage stake is 50-50. They say, sharing formula, what are you bringing to the table? 50%, 25%, 75%. You see all those percentage, eh? You guys should have that conversation. But truly in marriage, there's no equality. I established earlier that that there's an hierarchy, there is a structure as to life and marriage. Your husband is even if you are 10 years older, in the place of God, the way you said it, your husband is your senior. And you need to treat him as such. Sometimes it is the disrespect that we express that makes things difficult for us. We need to know that in the place of marriage, there's no equality. Because when we know those things, it also helps us adjust our mindset. It helps us to know that, okay, yes, it does not now mean that we should start doing yes, sir, yes, ma. No. But we should know and know very well that in the place of marriage, there is hierarchy. And the things you will not do to your boss in the office, even though that man is not giving you the kind of joy you desire, you don't do it to your spouse. And on that note, I think we've spoken for like an hour. I'm going to pause here and hear from you. Two things I want to hear from us. The first thing is, one myth from all the conversations we've been having now. Have you thought about any myth that you held through, any belief that you had in your mind that you want to start questioning and say, does this work? That you want to share with us? And the second one will be, out of all of these myths that I've spoken about, which one of it resonates with you the most? So if you want to unmute, please raise up your hand. If you want to use the chat session, let me know. I've been talking. I want to listen. Because I said we are going to all learn, right? So tell me, which of the myths, all of these myths resonates with you? And have you identified any other myths that you want to share with us? I'm waiting. This one that we're not talking, is it like there's too much glass balls or what? Oh yeah. Let's talk. Okay, Tara, please go ahead.
Okay. The myth that I think I've held on to for a while now is the fact that says marriage can either make or mar you. Somehow I felt like once you are married, marriage is something that's um probably is like the height of the whole thing for you. Like that's the best thing that can ever happen to anybody. Though it's the best thing, but I believe that I used to believe that if you are not married, you are not fulfilled or you've not achieved anything yet. But in this meeting now, I've gotten to learn that sincerely, marriage is not the end of it. In marriage, you can discover yourself more. You can learn to even you can be a better person, and at the same time, in marriage again, I just feel it's about you discovering yourself more and more and more as the journey goes on because you can't get to know yourself completely. you still keep learning. That I think that's why we are all in the school of learning. We still keep learning and learning and learning. So if you've not gotten to know yourself completely, I believe that there's no way you can know another person completely. So
100%.
you would still be learning and learning and learning and learning till forever. That's what I have gotten to understand now.
Thank you very
That's it
much
for
for
me.
the feedback. Ifetemi Eniola, let's hear from you. What are the myths that resonate with you for person for marriage
Yeah,
and is on
for
the soul? Okay,
okay,
just a minute, please. If let me
for
read out. Just a minute, please. Let me read out what we have from
okay.
Eniola. He said, I enjoyed every conversation, and yes, the comparison of other people's married to any relationship a person can really affect. Thank for the point of view. Yes, understand the partner and keep working things out. Thank you so much, Eniola, for the feedback. Let's learn to understand our spouse. A lot of times, some of these people they don't. If you look at where they are coming from, some people their parents have never showed any form of expression of love to their mother, so they don't even know where to learn it from, right? So thank you. Yeah, Ifetimi, please unmute.
Okay, for me, I really appreciate everything you said, but I just want to lay more emphasis on the divorce the divorce issue. Though mine, in my own opinion, I feel if you know you can't do this, I don't feel you need to get married to the person. We are different, and before I used to think, for instance, I used to think what I expect a lot. Let me use it that way. I expect a lot, like, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. But maybe growing up, let me say 2, 3 years back, when I started staying with my sister, I feel I see marriage in another perspective. I'm like, oh, so this is it. So when I was getting married, I was fully ready for any gbas goes that want to come, that anything, sha, is sha me and you. There's nothing that will separate us. We die here. As long as it is not violence, as long as it's not domestic violence, you're not beating me. But pay, can you understand our no, we will understand it. So I feel my husband is this kind of person we don't really see. So when we started staying together, like there are some things like more
Okay.
I
What
started
I
nagging,
ordered.
like you know, you know, don't put this one here. No, I mean, I'm so like, if I put my things, shall leave it the way I kept it. Don't touch it at all. I'll start complaining. Shebe lo ti mu kini yẹn ni. Why would you take? At the point in our code, he say, calm down. There are a lot of things you need to learn. So everything you said now, I cannot see that. See, it's not a one thing. You have to understand yourself. Like you have to come to his, if he's 30, you have to move up a little bit to be in his and let the thing balance, or else it won't work out to marriage.
All right, thank you very much, Ife. Truly, marriage is nobody's mate, right? And we learn every day. I am still subjecting myself to more learning from God, from people. Like we all rightly said, let's manage our expectations. The expectations, we have to just summarize this. The expectations we will be having from our spouse should be the ones that we have communicated and both agreed on. So if you now discuss Valentine, for instance, now, and it says, my own ideology, I'm not going to celebrate Valentine, you will know that you have 1 year to convince him or to pray about it till his mind is moved before you expect Valentine's gift next year. If in 1 year you're not able to convince him or he doesn't get that conviction, next year, better jejely, go and call Parara, pay them, let them surprise you and be surprised. So that way, on a lighter mode, we just need to mind the kind of belief. So I would expect that after this session, we go back into our respective selves. Let's sit down and journal and ask myself, what are the kinds of beliefs that I have? Or if something happens, ask yourself, what mindset, what belief do I have that is powering this expectation? and bring that belief to the table. Have a conversation on that belief. Have a standing point. Sometimes it might even be you that will drop that belief, because that's where it's a two-way thing. It could be him, it could be you. And like I said, it's not one person that should be the driving force. If you are the one that you have the initiative, because that one, Jesus Christ, I struggled. I say, I'm only the one bringing up suggestion. I'm the one trying to do this one. I'm the one trying to, excuse you. If you have the idea, do it. Because if you think this person will come and do it, nothing will happen. Does that mean that they don't have their own good part? Does that mean that it doesn't have the good things it does on its own side too? Amazing, fantastic things. But if you are the ones that have those ideas, bring it to the table. And some of it, let it be subtle. Men don't like very serious conversation. Don't carry table and say, yeah, sit down, let's talk. It is in your play, like, what do you even think about this thing? Like, for me, and you'll be amazed. Let's learn to ask questions, right? You'll be amazed at the kind of responses you will get when you start asking questions. One of my mentors said she would ask her husband, what do you want me to do for you? Like in the next phase, what are the things that you want me to do? I'll pause recording for this one that I want to say. The kind of troubles we experience in our relationship is those little questions we are not asking. You will be shocked when you start bringing those beliefs to the table at the responses that you get. And you would know. So now, I already know that, as funny as it might sound, if I have to, I don't do that every time, but if I have to fart, I immediately need to take care of the environment. Because the truth is, if I was in my boss's office at work, or even my office, if I fart, I would quickly want to make the environment smell good, because when you enter a child room, make it a do gola. No, I know go nice. So I'll be conscious that I could have any, even when I'm eating, I want to open the window, use spray just to make everywhere look good. But I'm in the house and I do something and I feel like I should be my husband, we should take it that way. So those little subtle things, we need to pay attention to them, ask questions, and continue to put effort to it. This meeting will time out in another few minutes. I don't think we need to come back. I feel that we have done justice to today's meeting. Please follow us on our Instagram page. Ife handles our pages on. We might have a community, maybe not now. Very soon we will have a community. If we have a community, we'll let you know. If you're interested, you could join so that we can continue the conversation. The idea of this meeting is that we'll meet once every month like this to talk conversations around relationship, marriage, and let's learn together. I am learning, you are learning, let's learn from ourselves. Let's rub minds to, ensure that this world is a better place for all of us. You can be married and you can truly, truly be blessed. Thank you everyone for coming today. I appreciate your time. I appreciate everyone that has been here. Thank you and have an amazing evening. We can unmute. Let's say our bye-byes.
Thank you, Mom.
All right. Thank you, Fetemi. Thank you, Eniola. It was so
Thank
good
you
having
very
you
much, Ma.
here.
I really enjoyed this session. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Malara. And Kiki dropped off the call. Casby also dropped off the call. We'll reach out to them. Thank you, everybody. Have an amazing rest of the night. Bye.